Hello, hi dear students. Class 9th English, poem number 8 On Killing a Tree by Jim Patel. This is a very small but very sensitive poem written by Jiv Patel. We are going to just poem. So before just reading the actual stanzas, I am going to just introduce the poem. The poet sensitizes the reader and highlights the fact that trees are living things. He equates trees with humans to convey that trees should not be cut because destroying trees is just like killing a human being. A tree does not die by merely cutting because it regrows from where it is cut. If it has to be destroyed, then it has to be uprooted. So this was the introduction. Now I am going to summarize the poem and then we will just move on to the other stanzas of the poem along with the explanation. On Killing a Tree is a sensitive poem. The poet persuades the reader not to destroy trees and equates it with killing a human being. He says that a plant takes sunlight, water, air, and nutrients from the soil to gradually become a huge tree. It develops a strong trunk and gets numerous leaves. Merely cutting the trunk of the tree does not kill it. When a tree is cut, the sap flows out just like a wounded man bleeds. Once the wound heals, new branches and tiny leaves grow from there, which grow into trees. In order to destroy a tree, it has to be uprooted. The roots, which are white in color and are damp due to the moisture that they get from the soil, are hidden in a pit in the earth. These roots are the most sensitive part of the tree as they bind it to the earth. In order to kill the tree, these roots have to be detached from the soil. Once the roots are detached, the tree starts dying. It withers, dries up with the action of heat and wind, twists, hardens, and finally dies. Was the summary of the poem. Now we are just moving on to the stanza number 1. So very interesting and very sensitive and full of message. Okay, stanza 1. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown, slowly consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide sprouting leaves. Explanation now, dear. A simple cut does not destroy a tree. A tree grows gradually. It is rooted in the soil. A plant takes nutrition from the soil to grow into a big tree. The tree is firmly bound with the soil. It takes in sunlight, water, and air to grow into a strong trunk and have numerous leaves. Stanza number 2. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature bugs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to form a size. Humans cut and chop the bark of trees into many pieces, but that is not sufficient to destroy the tree. The point of the tree, which gets cut, gives out sap just like a human being bleeds. Gradually, heals. This wound will heals, and from there, new branches start growing again. The 3. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied and pulled out, snapped out, or pulled out entirely, out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed, the source, white and weight, the most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. The poet says that in order to kill the tree, it has to be uprooted completely. One has to be separate. One has to separate the tree from the earth which supports it. The roots of the tree bind the tree with the soil in the pit of the earth. From there, the most sensitive and hidden part of the tree, the roots have to be detached. The roots are white in color and are last and the final concluding stanza of the poem. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. Once the tree has been uprooted, then gradually it withers and dries up with the action of heat and wind. The trunk become brown, will become brown, twist and will harden. Finally, the tree will die this way. And this is the message of the poet, that tree will not die very easily, so it has to be uprooted, and then we have to see that the things are nothing no more, just like the human, how the humans are also cut down, killed properly by so that will also, trees are also compared here with the human beings. Okay students, so here we are going to just see that the poem is over, but this poem has a lot of literary devices into it. So first thing is that this poem is written in a pre-verse. This poem has no verse of its own, no rhymes or no rhyming scheme. Enjambment is used by the poet in order to give the effect. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it, it has grown. At the same time, the third device is metaphor, indirect comparison, leprous hide. The uneven color of the surface of the trunk of the tree is compared to the skin of a person suffering from leprosy. Bleeding bark. One more metaphor you will find. The sap coming out of a tree where it is cut is compared to the bleeding from the wound in a human's body. Alliteration is also you will find here. Repetition of consonants, bleeding bark. B is B sound is repeated again. White and weight. W sound is repeated. Now, lastly, one more literary device is used by the poet is here, repetition. A word or sentence is repeated to lay emphasis on it. Pulled out is repeated again and again in the poem. So in this way, children, you can see that lots of literary devices are used in order to give the proper effect to this sensitive poem. Thank you very much for watching this video. In the next video on the same poem, I'm going to give you some multiple choice questions on the basis of this poem. So till then, thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Hmm?